Thanksgivings of yore, the virginity test, and micro-cheating. All of this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Hi, Amy.
Hello, hello. You are the sweetest, bestest person in the entire fucking universe. I just want to explain
I
that
wish you would. That's
on
crazy.
the last podcast, previously on Brilliant Observations.
On a previous episode. Here's
So
the recap.
the 2-second recap is that we had some interruption, internet delay. I thought it was you on your side. You thought it was me on my side. And I just waited. I knew you were in the middle of rolling about saying something. So I thought she'll pop back in. She'll pop back in. And I didn't want to disrupt because I didn't know where you were in it. I didn't want to just say, are you there? Because if you could still hear. So I waited. And the waiting went on for quite a bit. And I thought, oh, she's really having some trouble. Come to find out that I was the one who had exited the room unceremoniously and without my own knowledge. So it was just glorious. And then because you are, as you are, you kept rolling and said a whole bunch of stuff about me and then proceeded to tell me after the fact, I said a whole bunch of stuff about you and I closed the podcast and now you won't get to hear it until we air. Hee. So it's probably for the best that all of the glowing, wonderful, misguided comments that you said about me were done without my ability to chime in any way. So that now all I can do is say
now.
It's out there and God bless you, everyone, and thank you. And my goodness, it honestly very moving. I listened to it the second it dropped, and as I was listening, I went from aw to what and oh, it was just all that stuff. So thank you, and I guess thank you, internet service provider, for not allowing me to interject into something that I need to hear. So thank you, and I hear it, and now I have it on tape.
And I
Roll
can play
the tape,
it back,
Johnny. That's it.
Anytime I need to hear it. I am awesome. Yeah, I mean, I know that you struggle sometimes with both feeling appreciated and accomplished. And I think what you're not doing, and I'll say it to you and still not give you the opportunity, because we got a lot to chat about today, to counter anything I have to say. I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm telling you. The proof is in your life. You just don't see your life clearly because you're on to the next thing for everyone else. So the proof is in the wild success and joys that are in your life, and the way you deal with the things that are not as successful and things that are not as joyous. They're all there. So the proof's all there. And I guess I was really just trying to say is you should feel more accomplished than you do, because you daily accomplish a lot, and it's impressive. And I accomplish watching Netflix, which I haven't done in a very long time.
That's impressive.
I don't remember how I used to have all the time to watch all the shows. I used to discuss with John the latest stand-up, although I did see Seth Meyers' Lobby Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it was so funny. He's so smart. And that's really that, when we have trouble with comedians, it's because they're lazy.
Yeah, fair.
Right? That they're not, the comedy isn't smart. It's the smart comedy that, whether you agree or disagree, it's just great comedy. But when I have a dog who's in a crate who's just screaming. Dear listener, I'm so sorry, but that's just what it is. Because I went 3 weeks with a trained dog. Stuart went away to Florida, and there was a doobie in the family room.
Oh, my sweet rescue fucker.
It's so offensive. Like, I'm so offended. I do everything for you, and then you just shit in the family room. Like, that's
so offensive.
The disrespect is so deep when somebody just shits on the carpet in the family room that it's offensive. So I locked her ass up. I'll let you know, if you're going to shit, you're going to do it where you sleep. So
have fun with
and
that
she's
shit.
just screaming, and I'm thinking logically that can't last forever, when in reality it can last forever. And I think she's going to do her best to prove it. So first things first, catch up. How are you, Aim?
I'm here. That's saying something. Woo!
It is. I wrote Amy last night at like 10 o'clock, 10:30 as I'm about to get into bed and the dogs were outed and everything's fine. They're not gay. They just went out, came back in. Although they probably are because we do have them because they wouldn't breed. And I thought, good for you. Hey, are we still on for tomorrow morning? And cricket. I heard at 4:01 this morning. Yep. 4:01. What?
Yeah, it's been a little busy. Been a little busy here over in Castle Chaos. It's nuts. This was the big dramatic performance weekend. I had 2 kids in the high school show.
Little shop of horrors.
That's what it was.
Bop shoo bop.
So, and every conceivable volunteer activity that could be done was done by me.
Suddenly Seymour.
Yeah, it's
standing beside me.
It's so cute.
I love that show.
I had never seen it before. Had no idea what I was in for.
Are you serious?
Yeah, didn't even know the plot. There's a plant, like that's the plot. So, so I saw it opening night, and I was like, "This is morbid and horrible
and wonderful."
The wonderful part came later. You gotta sort of
somewhere that's green.
Yeah,
I love her,
cute.
Audrey.
Very
it's great. You know what? My kids have not seen that.
Well, forced family fun. We know what's coming up.
It is. You're right. Definitely. Poor kids.
So everybody was here for the cast party after the fact, and there are 6 seniors in the high school production this year, and one of those 6 is my senior, so he was there, and it was sort of extra special, and lots of weepy people, and "Ooh, it's our last one ever." Buh, 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 buh. And then my other high schooler is a freshman, so he was there, sort of, and all their friends, and it's you can't have them more opposite. One is on the stage, one is in tech crew, so it was a full house, literally.
Your oldest, what role did he have?
Mushnick. He's the shop owner.
Oh, I know. Stop it. I know exactly who he is.
And the funniest praise that he received, he's a little Italian boy. The funniest praise that he received was consistently the same praise. It came from everyone. When did you become a 60-year-old Jew? When? When did you figure this out?
Well, we talked about this. It's a fine line between old Jew and old Italian. It's the same. You're skating the same line.
I got to tell you, on his opening night, he crosses the stage and he sort of rises. He's sitting on the whole thing is it's Skid Row, so everything is dirty and gross and sad. So he's sitting on an outdoor stoop and he has to sort of rise up from the steps and walk across the stage. It's not a big deal. He got up and he moved in such a way that my body hurt to watch him. I was like, oh, ow, oh, ouch. That's an old fucker. Like he was just moving across the thing. And I had 2 simultaneous thoughts. One was, look how excellent he is portraying an old, beaten down, sad sack of a human. And look at yourself as you walk across the stage, because clearly he's modeling his character acting after watching you get up on a Saturday morning from the fucking couch. It was unbelievable. I mean, I almost hear my own bones cracking when I saw the kids shuffle across the stage, but it was effective. I'll say that.
Down on Skid Row. I love that show.
You should be in it. You're fantastic.
I can't sing for shit.
I just heard you sing, and it was not for shit.
Oh, it was, yeah. All right. I wish that we were closer so that I could have brought my kids. So I could have brought my kids every single night of that show.
It was super good. Super good.
Amazing. I mean, I'll be honest. High school theater where I live is not great. There was one girl in the neighboring town who we all watched her rise, and she's, I think, on Broadway now, but she was spectacular to watch in everything she did. But, I mean, high school theater could be wicked painful.
Oh, yes. We don't have that. We have an excellent, crazy good program, and it's crazy good all the way through. We had, I believe that the plants that they have, the whole gag is that the plant keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it starts out as
feeding it.
It starts out with a little puppet, and then it becomes a larger puppet, and then it becomes a working puppet with a full-size man in it in camouflage. So, and he's one of the staff at school, Mr. Calvin, and everyone, his first name is Calvin, but he's Mr. Calvin to me. But anyway, everyone adores him. So of course this is another opportunity for him to get like best uncle points ever. So he's in the stupid thing in camo. The whole point that I'm trying to make here, which I have not yet made, is that the plants that they use, these puppets, I think they rented them from some Broadway company. So they're crazy legit. I'll share a photo or two in the show notes because it's, I mean, the set, my number 2 son built the set, and it's a working turntable. So all of the props and furniture and the humans are on a gigantic record player like turntable that 6 guys in the back spin when it's time, and it's just a 3-part, like a peace sign. A 3-part, you spin it around, there's the next set, you spin it around again.
That's awesome. You got 2 turntables and a microphone.
What?
Where it's at? That's amazing. I see your first son as the one who designed the turntable. Your second son as the thing too, Beth.
No, actually, it was number 2 is all tech all the time. And he was responsible for this piece and that piece, and I could talk to you for a long time about the tech. And they combine it. It becomes not only the after school activity. For tech crew, it's a class. So they're teaching them woodworking and design and set dressing, all the shit they.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's good.
Around here this week, we had a new Chick-fil-A open.
What?
So Panera does this too. At Chick-fil-A, when they're opening a new store, if you camp out the night before, the first 100 people get free Chick-fil-A for a year.
A what? Oh, I was all ready to poo-poo this. A year's a long time. And Chick-fil-A is very expensive. Very expensive.
So they don't mean every day for a year. They mean one a week, a meal a week for a year, which is 52 meals, which is a sandwich, a waffle fry, and a medium drink. I mean, if you read the fine print, that's what it says. I did read the fine print because I'm in an area where I don't think 100 people are going to camp out. I just don't. I don't think there are 100 people in this neighborhood, in this community, that are going to say, I'm going to sit outside a fast food restaurant. I don't care if it's Chick-fil-A. And I'm going to get a free, I think people would rather pay here than do that. And I think that is fucking obnoxious. And I thought, and my son thought, I want to do that. And then it got cold. He's like, nah.
So we went home. Yeah. Did you do it?
My parents buy me Chick-fil-A. We did not do it. But I was wondering if there is a store or a restaurant that you would camp outside of overnight to be one of those first 100 people to get a year's supply of.
Yeah, there's probably one or two. But honestly, I'm the kind of person that if there was a big enough gag in it, I might camp out in front of a CVS to get like chiclets. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I would probably do it anyway. There are good restaurants and things down here. I probably would have done it for the Chick-fil-A. And I guarantee you, number 2.
Oh, yeah, I know your number 2 would have done it.
Oh, my Lord. That he lives and dies for Chick-fil-A. He would absolutely do that. But not just that.
He lives and dies for the game, for the camaraderie. They were playing football in the parking lot. They had a real... People were dancing and playing music. They had a thing going on. It's
a thing.
I think Chick-fil-A supplied hot cocoa for them to keep them warm because I'm a little further north than you, and it got cold that night. Actually, it got like below freezing for a spell, which is gross. It's just gross. It's turned on us here. It's no longer Native American summer. I don't know what you're supposed to call it. What's that? What's the new phrase?
It's going to stay Indian summer until the weather people sort it out. It's not. That's how it is. It's Indian summer. It's Indian corn. It's not Native American corn. It's not fucking maize corn. We're not. No. You know what? Full respect, indigenous people's corn. Not doing it.
Full respect, Indian summer. Yeah, it's not nice here anymore. I don't approve.
Mm-hmm, we sent some up your way while I was here manning the drama ship for 2 of the 4 days because it's a Thursday through Sunday show. So Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday matinee. Husband and number 1 were gonzo. The giant traveling lacrosse league that is our life was all over the place. I think this weekend was Raleigh and Atlanta and also Columbia, Maryland. So 8 a.m.
Yeah, I saw
games.
Frost.
Frost on
he
the
posted
outside.
a picture where there was a frost, and I thought, Really? In North Carolina, you have a frost right now? No, that's not where he was.
Whee!
No, Melissa. No, that's not where he was. What is your weather right now?
It's cool. It's brisk. It's oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. In the middle of the week last week, it had been, very high 70s, very, got down to like in the 60s, and people are starting to say, "Ooh, that's sweater weather." I'm like, "No, 60s is summer, jackass."
Right. Nighttime, but still summer.
60s is a warm evening at the Cape. It's please. So it got down on the weather report. It was going to be 42 degrees. 42 degrees. And I swear to you.
Did they stroke out?
Yes, the weatherman was like,
Parka.
yeah, he's like, winter is officially here. It's 42 degrees. Grab your coats. It's going to be this and this and this. What? I think he said get a parka. I think he actually said parka on the thing, because that's another weird thing we have down here. They call things all the wrong names. A little knit cap. You know about a knit cap to put on your head?
Yeah.
Here, they call that a toboggan.
No. A toboggan is that thing you sit in.
It's sled with a curve on. Yes, at the North Pole. Yes.
Right.
Yes. No, that's
with the toys.
That's a toboggan. That's a toboggan. And
no, it's not, actually.
I don't know how to help people. It's like they walk up to you with a horse and they say, "Meet my duck." It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, do you correct them?
Every fucking time. It's on the news. The idiot weather people will say, "So get your toboggan," and they don't mean a sled. And they're like holding the knit cap.
Toboggan, sled with the curved front with the presents that hold the presents when you go down in the
Exhibit
snow.
A, the fucking Oxford Dictionary. Figure it out. I mean, this isn't a class thing. This is a fucking reality of the word. I don't get it.
I do feel like our society is like that anyway. Somebody will show you something white and tell you it's black. And I mean, it is what it is right now. Your job is to be an informed human that knows better and gets to mock everyone else on the side. And maybe to their face. I don't know if you're going to be that picky about it. This change in weather really sinks in the whole, it's going to be Thanksgiving soon. We are 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving break for the children, for us, I don't know. It's nostalgia. Do you have amazing memories from Thanksgiving past?
Yeah. I mean, Thanksgiving's kind of a big one. We love it. Works out really well. So this year, as every year, we're all of us getting in the car, heading north. We go to my parents' house. And when I was a widow girl, my sister and I would be removed from school so that we could go to my dad's mom's house, my grandmother's house, and we would help her prepare the meal for the whole family that came to her house. And we did that for, I don't know, for as long as I've been alive, we did it. When I was too young to do anything, they would give me a little wash rag and she'd say, "Go wipe as high as you can reach." And so I would just go clean walls. I mean, they just basically keep you busy.
That's adorable.
So,
did you start that the day before?
This was 100% Wednesday. They would take us out of school because back in the day, you didn't get Wednesday off school. Now my kids have it off. I don't know what your
they do.
Okay. So they would pull us from school and we would work all day. And then the next day we would get there early and kind of help prep and put things out. But we had also 60 people coming. It's an Italian family. It's a lot of people. So, and my grandmother has passed away. We miss you. So she's gone. Now we have it at my mom's house and it's just the 15 of us. It's not a big one, but we still go up and my boys come and,
wash the walls.
Well, they can reach all the way to the fucking top because they're 6-footers. But at the same time, it's like, get the broom, get the whatever, make yourself useful, go blow the leaves outside. There's a lot of created work for them because there's nothing. The house is fucking clean. There's nothing to do. But the food, lift the turkey so my mom doesn't have to lift an 80 million pound turkey. And we get up early. Yeah. So so Wednesday we like set the table and we do all the stuff. And then Thursday we get up and do all the cooking and it's nice. It feels like, it's very odd. It feels like we get to host and yet we don't have to host.
It's like going back in time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really setting you back in time. And I found this article that said 7 things that made Thanksgiving in the 80s the best. So, number 1, there were no cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately,
perfect.
Cell phones take you out of the moment, right? Immediately, cell phones, be it children who are on them or adults who are doing work, or they just take you out of that throwback, that being together as a family. Well, number 2, No one counted carbs in the 80s. It wasn't I can't eat that or pass another roll or those freaking biscuits that came in the pouch that you just had to, what are those, crescent rolls or the
Crescent rolls, canned biscuits. I've got to do
canned biscuits.
I've got to do the aside for the crescent rolls every year. It's another argument. My mother never buys enough butter and never buys enough crescent rolls. And because every year she has it in her head that she's bought more than could ever be consumed. And I'm like, yeah, you need to triple that shit. One of my children will eat an entire can of those fucking crescent rolls. I'm sorry. It's their day. I'm not fighting anybody. Buy another, vat, whatever they come in, a pallet of crescent rolls and cook them because that's what we're having. And just get individual baskets. You know, the table basket of bread. Get
Everybody
6
gets
of
their
those. Yeah. It's great. All right.
Yeah,
What's
I
next?
don't think you can ever have enough crescent rolls. And I
That's
was going to
true.
ask you, in your family, do they make them, or is it just my family that did crescent rolls because they're so easy? Like, do you bake? Was it a baking holiday?
I have been grinning from ear to ear when you brought this list and said, "Oh my gosh, let's talk about it from the 80s," because I'm kind of counting on, I don't know what's on the list. I'm kind of counting on everything from the 80s we still do exactly that way because we don't that's the tradition. This is how it was. My poor husband, God bless him, has been trying for 19 years to convince my mother to brine the turkey because that's the new way to do it and it's super flavorful and it's great. She's like, that's not how we do it. You can do it some other time. Nope. She's very flexible in other ways. Thanksgiving, fuck you. It's coming out the way it was last time because that's, you're sort of preserving the memory for everybody too.
You should send your husband up here because Stuart would like to deep fry his turkeys.
Oh, we went through that phase too. Never,
yeah, but your mom would never do that.
Nope. We went so far as I think my sister's husband was going to bring over one so we could do a fried turkey just to see. In addition, no, right. I don't. My dad one year foolishly tried to introduce crab bisque as one of the and we were going to have a cape. Thanks. Nope. Shut down hard. Yeah.
Wow.
It's smoke and flames. When
her own husband tried to.
Nope. Nobody's getting in. Nope.
All right.
That's
it.
All
right. Respect. You have something that works that you want to share with your family every year till the day you die, and you're not going to let anyone in to alter that. Number 3, the meal prep lasted all day.
That still goes on.
It was a full day's activity. From start to finish, every aspect of the day was thought about. And you even said the day before, from the day of cleaning the house and getting ready for. Number 4, it's a 2 to 3 day event.
Yeah. Still.
We go away.
You're terrible.
I know. We're not even here. So yeah, for us, it's a 2 to 3 day event also, but we're not even here for Thanksgiving anymore. Stuart's family gets together. My parents moved to Florida. This year, we're actually flying to Florida, and we're flying my brother's kids to Florida, and we're going to spend, not with my brother or sister-in-law, but we're going to spend Thanksgiving with my parents because they're going to come to our side of the state. I think I told you this. And my nieces, right? Remember the book that Stuart made?
Yes.
Right. So we're going to do all of that. And still, Thanksgiving is going to be at a restaurant on the water. This would make your mother fucking crazy.
Yeah,
on the water. I bet you there will be crab bisque.
Why even have it? Why give thanks at all? She might.
Is that what she would say?
No, but it's not in the slightest. But that's the subtext
that's
of whatever
what my mother
might come
would
out.
Say. Right? That's what my mom would say.
Why
even bother?
Oh, it's too much, Melissa.
The food.
Much.
You said you're frozen in the 80s. The food. My mother used to make that green bean casserole.
Oof.
With the cream of mushroom soup.
No.
I think she even used canned green beans.
Oh, God, mother of hell. No.
Canned cream of mushroom soup, and then those onions, those durkey, what were they called?
They're
those
French's fried onions.
Yeah, right on top, which my husband loves.
He should love them because they are trash food that is delicious.
He the whole dish. He loves that.
No,
dish.
you can't. You shouldn't have to eat the green vomit just to get the fried onions.
Well, I once asked her, "Can we use fresh green beans for this?" And she looked at me like, "Why would I do that?"
Right.
Because they're actually green. They're
God.
actually
It's like-
fresh.
It's like old. Well, I had to do that with the cast party. I wanted the show you were talking about, Little Shop of Horrors. It's very cheesy, and I was trying to come up with a theme, and I was like, okay, that's the theme. It's going to be very puns. So I got a ham because they're such, and I got cheese balls. It was all nonsense, right? Because they're so cheesy. Nobody sells a ham anymore. This is coming back to the Thanksgiving.
Honey
I had to
baked.
go. I had to go to a proper ham that hasn't already been pre-sliced and pre-cooked and blah blah. I just want a ham that I'm going to cook myself. I had to go to 4 stores, and you always have to go to the crackiest stores to get the stuff that you want. This is going to sound gross, but whenever I have to buy lard, there's only one store that sells it. It's the same one that sells the ham. It's the same one that sold the gummy worms to make the dirt for the flower pots that I made for everybody for the stupid show.
That's adorable.
What's the other thing that there's things that you can't. It was a Thanksgiving one that they don't make anymore. Anyway, it was the ham. I can't. It's so hard to even find the stuff anymore to keep it rolling. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Margarine. When there's old fashioned recipes and they always want you to use margarine, that's canned green beans time. And the funny thing is, if you make it with butter, the shit doesn't work. You gotta or this recipe that you've been having your whole life. If you substitute something for the oleo, magically it doesn't work anymore. So if you like that weird green bean sadness, I don't think that it's so completely not actual green beans. I think it's like green bean adjacent. So to put the fresh green beans in it is a totally different thing.
You're eating nostalgia is what you're eating. You're not eating food per se. You're eating nostalgia.
Right.
It's what I remember it to be. And my mother, this used to make my brothers crazy. The whole family. I'm making this for Stuart, my husband. What the fuck about us?
So
We've
him.
eaten it for years. We love it, but I'm so tired.
I really am tired of him.
I-
I'm right there with you and your
Stuart
family.
loves this. I know Stuart loves it. I'm making it for him.
PR campaign that he has working for him. I don't even know.
Like you don't have to sell it, Ma. He married me. We tricked him. It's over. We win.
That's it.
We win. You can stop now. We win.
He doesn't get a special fucking dish. That's it.
What about that like Jello moldy ambrosia
Oh God,
stuff?
nobody ever has to. Do you have that in your house? Thank God.
No, we're Jews. We don't make
You don't
things like that.
concoct food. It was
No, we don't put things
food
suspended
inside
in
another
Jell-O
food and then make it somehow
No.
pink and wobbly. Yay.
You can see previous episodes of this podcast to hear about all other Jell-O mold issues. Probably 2 years ago, we talked about it ad nauseum.
I don't remember
If
the
that's how you
Jell-O
say
mold.
that.
I've listened to I'm a devoted listener. I've listened to a lot of them more than once, but I do remember a lengthy green bean casserole commentary.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
I will say, I would say turkey, but I'll say the thing that I am reviled for loving. My husband can't really even get through the meal sitting next to me because this is how I do it on the plate. It's a combination. I take the mashed potatoes and the corn and the gravy. I make a little scoop out of the mashed potatoes, big dollop of mashed potatoes, hollow it out with a spoon in the center, fill that with corn, cover it all with gravy, eat it all at once. And it makes him sick to his stomach.
So you get a hint of the sweet in that salt. That's
It's
genius.
Thanksgiving in a bite. It's delicious, and he can't handle it.
You know, every once in a while, Hers Potato Chip Factory requests they're local here. You can get a tour of the factory. I'm sure you've done it
I
100
have,
times.
and I love it.
Yeah. They request ideas for potato chip flavors
no.
because they've come out with some really stupid ones.
Ketchup
And
was one of my particularly stupidest ones. Ketchup potato chips.
some people like those. I found in England they liked those. But I know.
They
What can you
eat
say?
they eat fish in a bag. I mean, what do you want to say? Come on. And that's the
Yes.
delicacy, right? Stop.
An intestine bag. Yeah. So I think that would be a really good potato chip flavor.
Corn with
And potato and gravy. That would be a really good. It's already got the potato in there, so the corn and gravy on it would be fantastic. I agree. I tend to go for. I'm not a turkey eater. I know it's blasphemous, and at a holiday that's centered around a bird for whom I've always felt sorry. I'm not a fan, really. I like sides. I like the sides. I make a slammin' noodle pudding, and it is called kugel in the Jewiest terms, and it's outstanding. So That's probably something I make, which is shocking, is one of my favorite foods. But a really good stuffing, I don't know, man. Stuffing's a genius. You're taking bread in another form. Bread's really the way to go no matter what the meal. The crescent rolls and the bread. Could you put the stuffing on the rolls and
Oh,
biscuits?
hell
'Cause
yes. We've got a restaurant. You've got a restaurant native to you that does that. And now they've gone national. It's called the Bobby. They do a turkey sandwich from like a deli, a turkey sandwich they'll sell to you all year long with fresh pulled turkey. And they put stuffing and cranberry sauce on the sandwich.
so good. It's so good. Yeah. Every once in a while you forget about it until you have company. And then you're like, hey, let's get it's called Capriati's. They do not pay us for an ad, but maybe one day they will.
We should pay them. They're so good. Let me tell you about stuffing. My mom, she's got a hard act to follow. My grandmother, world's best cook, Italian grandmother. You already got the picture. I don't even have to say anything else. My mother is 100% Irish. My dad, 100% Italian. So here she is, sends her daughters off to do the cooking with the husband's wife, the whole thing, right? So it finally comes around. Thanksgiving is in her home, at her house. We're doing it. And I will tell you, her stuffing would knock my grandmother down the street. It is so much. It is beyond better. It is spectacular. She puts sausage in it and all this crazy stuff in it. And it's, you cannot get a better stuffing than this. It's fan-fucking-tastic. So shout out. That would be my number one if it wasn't for my devoted love to the
concoction.
Corn and potatoes.
The concoction you make that offends your husband.
Yes.
Water chestnuts, are they in anything? Like
Not
stuffing?
on Thanksgiving. I think they're in China. That you can. It's a good crunch, but no, not in her.
It's a good texture adder, right? Okay,
Yes.
so no, I don't know where I got that from. I just love stuffing. It's a rare stuffing that I'm like, ew, what's this? And the whole debate. Jessica last year had her mother-in-law, who now resides in her home, for Thanksgiving, and she took, when she left, because in those days she left. She doesn't do that anymore. She took all the stuffing that was inside the turkey and left the other stuffing. So she took all the wet, good, just joyful stuffing. And I was so offended for her, because stuffing to me is almost like a religion, because it's, when done right, it's just joy. It's just such joy. All right, what else?
So favorite foods. It's a pain in the ass to make it too. So that really was a party foul on her part.
So number 6 of the 7 things from the 80s is that we didn't do any of the work. Like, you might have rubbed a wall, but all of the scraping and all of the prep and all of the marinating and timing, and timing is my least favorite part of preparing a meal. If you're in my house, you could eat 3 sides and an hour later the meat's ready. Like, there's no timing for me. I suck at that. But we didn't really do most of the work. We just got to really enjoy the people who were there, who didn't have cell phones, who weren't distracted, who could hang out with you. And it was mandatory time when the oldest of cousins had to spend time with the youngest of cousins. Because again, you don't have a cell phone. You're not calling your girlfriend saying, yeah, I'll be right there. Or Uber. And number 7, the last one, was stores were closed. Everything was closed.
Yes.
Thanksgiving was just your family or extended family, friends, whatever. If you hated your family and couldn't stand that, you still had nowhere else to go. It was just very people-y. And as someone who doesn't really enjoy, then it didn't bother me as much, but as somebody who doesn't really love the very large get-togethers, it was what it was. You were only stuck with these people. They were your family. They knew you or didn't. But it was 2 days of just those people. And that led to Black Friday, which wasn't what it is now. It was a scaled down consumer day, but it was hours. They were in hours. It didn't start on Thanksgiving. 24-hour store. It was crazy.
It wasn't even called Black Friday. It was something that retail people called it because the shops were just naturally busier. People were home. They're, in a little bit of a food coma. They're walking around. They're looking for something to do. Hey, let's go pick up this task. Let's go, knock something off the to-do list, or let's shop for fun. Let's do all the things. And it just grew and grew and grew until the marketers and everybody else ran with it and turned it into a festival of consumerism, which sort of, to be fair, sickens me that as a culture, we're okay with taking the one holiday focused on gratitude and a celebration of what you have and immediately co-opting that with buy something else, to the point where I'm getting in my email inbox last week, I'm getting early, Black Friday preview and early Black Monday and all this other nonsense and cyber this and doobie-doo. Stop. Fucking stop. It's like when the holidays collapse on themselves. I get that people want to get the jump on things to a point. I don't need Christmas decorations in the South, in the stores, in October when it's 80 degrees outside. Don't need it. I don't need it. Stop. I'm not buying it.
You threw in the South. That's something I just really never considered until we spent Thanksgiving last year in South Carolina. Yeah. How do you have Christmas when there's no fucking chance of snow? Like there's two kinds.
Well, there's two kinds basically. So you've got the traditionalists who are trying to make it happen. Stop trying to make fetch a thing. It's just not gonna happen. So they put the white dangling icicle lights like on their, Spanish tile roof. It's like, no, there's no, why are you doing this? They'll put up the big, Fraser fir, greeny green lit tree on the front porch, and then come out in their flip flops to, plug it in the middle of the night. It's just, you don't need to do this. So that's
so crazy.
It's a little weird, and it can go from we're just doing it because that's how we do it, all the way through let's almost make a joke of it. It's almost campy that it's so ridiculous, right? And people do like palm trees, and they'll light the palm trees and this sort of a thing. Like they'll buy an artificial palm tree and light that. Like how ridiculous.
Yeah, but they do that in Florida too.
Yeah, so
we see that all the time.
So there's that side. And then you have the classy people who I really like, and they sort of seasonally appropriate what they need to do. Not seasonally, regionally appropriate it. So if you're kind of a coastal place, then you have everything in kind of not traditional Christmassy colors, but it's more like sand colors and maybe a light blue or something, and it's a little frosty looking. So it's Christmas-esque, but it's done their way. If they eat crab bisque because they got fucking crabs down here, it's whatever it's going to be. So I love that, and we haven't been able to find a happy medium. My husband is kind of a Jew when it comes to Christmas. It's really hard. He doesn't want to decorate anything. Well, we travel. We're gone. We go and see family, and we participate in putting up the decorations there, and in many cases helping to take them down before we leave. So we show up and we're the guest and the work crew all at once, and it's great. So his point of view is, why do I want to do that twice? Why do I want to decorate my own house, leave, not enjoy it? And he got me for a couple of years with this false line. It's a fire hazard. We can't put the stuff up because we're not home. It's a fire. Why would we do that? So, and he only talks like that when he's an imbecile. So,
so I should have known right away.
That's right. So then it became, all right, we're putting it up, damn it. And I'm going to do it until I have a stroke. Or now the largest of the children is tall enough, tall as daddy, so you can get on the damn ladder. It never works. And just to keep rambling on this, it's really a shame because the little pocket where I live is recognized nationally as having a hyper local decorating tradition, which we don't participate in, and it makes me want to cry every single year. Somebody here invented, gotta love it, it's a ball. You take a chicken wire and fashion it into a circle, probably twice the size of a basketball, pretty big. Wrap that whole thing with lights, and they devised a way where you can kind of shot put it into the tippity top of very tall trees, of which we have many. And one house did maybe a dozen of these. So they have these lighted giant ornament looking balls hanging really high in the trees. That was fun. Then the next year, a couple of their neighbors did it. Cut to an entire neighborhood does it. And now they have a charity event called the Running of the Balls. And it's a 5K, and you run through the neighborhood at night with Coco, and bands are there. And it's this whole giant thing, and it does good.
I'm going to need you to take a picture of those
We have
balls.
video. I'll give you this. Somebody did a drone video, so I'll put that out there. It's great. And it's nothing like being in person, but we are surrounded by trees. Exhibit A, my internet goes down quite a lot. We are surrounded by trees here. They're massive, and not one of my little fucks will put this stuff up. I even made the chicken wire balls, cut my hands to shit, the whole thing for years. And they sit in the garage. And every year, at one point, I just rolled them onto the lawn. That's how sad it was. I was like, they're going out. They're going out. And then the next year, husband bought me a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, the stick with the thing. And so we have a blue blanket. So we put the Charlie Brown Christmas tree out on the lawn too. Because everything's bright green. So we have this dumb little tree and we wrap him with the blanket and the one light. It's very cute.
Does he also spend his days saying bah humbug?
No, he's got a wonderful spirit, but he will not garden or participate in gardening. He'll eat all the fruits of the garden. He'll admire someone else's garden, will not plant, will not weed. He's gone so far as he will rip out gardens that have been planted at our homes.
No.
Yeah, he ripped out the plants and gave them to a neighbor so that we would not have to weed. What is wrong with you?
I don't know. He's kind of me, but a boy.
Oh,
I relate
how
a little
lucky.
too well to your spouse.
No, you're right. That's uh-oh.
I know.
I got some thinking to do.
You do, and that's part of the bad advice question that we got this time around. A listener wrote in to ask about micro cheating.
What is this?
Yeah, what is this? So I did a little look up on micro cheating, and it turns out if your spouse is sending text messages with a female coworker, it's really all centered around the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even I went to and sat with Tina at the bar and we were talking about, and as before I waited for you, kind of all these things that are around women that seem like no big deal, but they're always laughing and flirty. And that's considered micro cheating now.
Didn't we just call this emotional engagement or some kind of a thing? Like whenever you weren't having a physical, you were having an emotional affair. Wasn't that?
Yes,
Now it's micro cheating because that's actually, that sounds better. But
correct.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm hung up on the term.
It's all because of this, your cell phone. It's all because everything's so easy to throw a tiny flirty engagement of some sort to which there's no next step unless you're a fucking cheater and you take it to the next step. But it's super simple to pay a compliment without the same way people don't really engage speaking so much anymore. I'm going to say the kids these days. Oh my God.
Oh,
everybody
there.
Sit down.
It's
everybody
the nostalgia episode. You could walk across the stage like number one.
With my cane. You know, kids these days, we force our kids to have face-to-face, eye-to-eye conversations with relatives and people. We go out to dinner with another family. They have to ask 5 questions of the grown-ups at the table. Maybe one of them could be a follow-up, but it's always eye contact, shake hands when you meet, and there are things you have to do. My son would love to have friends over to chat and hang out and light a little fire on the deck or whatever. But they all have their phones and they're incapable of engaging in conversations. And I do think it's an entire generation's worth of youth, people. I'm trying 2 Utes. Utes? What's a Ute? I think it's the Utes that can't have conversations. Maybe because it's easy to throw an eggplant emoji out there, maybe because it's easy they don't even say okay, it's just K or KK, by the way.
What's
which
KK?
Is okay, but it's still 2 letters. And if you're going to say KK, couldn't you have just said okay? I think
stupid.
we are coming upon it is. I think we are going to come up to another episode of Brilliant Observations where we deal with new slang. Because I'm hearing some things and I'm not understanding most of them. So I'm going to do some research into some more slang. I might even recruit my Utes to help me out.
I've got perfect. I'll save it because I've got the world's perfect slang that I'm classic. This will be a great episode. Tune in, friends, for this future content. You'll love it. I got to get back to this micro cheating thing because I don't know what's worse. I don't know if you're supposed to be upset that somebody is having any kind of a connection with someone else, or if you're not upset about it. Like it just seems like it's a very weird thing because having relationships with other people that are healthy involves a level of intimacy. So you can have a wonderful deep relationship with somebody about a topic or a common area of interest, and it doesn't have to be sexual. And that alone can be threatening to somebody if the relationship's not cool. So are you only talking about in the micro cheating sphere? Are we talking about somebody who is eggplant emojiing? Because that's just kind of like cheating, but not yet. That's there's no micro about it. That's an overt
right
sexual attempt.
So the articles I read talked about, your man comes home. I don't know. They seem like teen mags, but they weren't, because they're online sources, which means they're absolutely true and they have total validity.
I agree.
Your man comes home and tells you about what only women were doing or saying at work. They don't have male friends. They're texting like they're in a rom-com, just being super cutesy via text. All the examples really seemed phone-based and flirty, just really wildly flirty phone-based activities. And that they considered micro cheating. Is it micro cheating because there's no penetration? Is that what we're saying?
I don't know. And that's the other thing. It's like, if you're a flirty person, what's the phone? What's the difference? You're going to be flirting in person. You're always going to be flirting. Always be closing. Always be flirting. You're always going to be closing. You're always going to be flirting. So the person you're with kind of figured that shit out already. So I'm wondering where the line is. That's I guess my issue. So for it to be micro cheating instead of just, nothing at all. Which one is it?
Is it the behavior that got you in the first place that you're now afraid is going to get someone else? Is it? Yeah. I dear listener, we only have bad advice for this one. Micro cheating is both a ridiculous concept.
I agree.
And B, I guess a problem only if you don't trust the human with whom you're in a relationship. No?
Yeah, I'm going to go with we endorse micro cheating because it is super stupid. Well, if we're going to do bad advice, we're all the fuck in. Micro cheat, gang. You know what it means? That's called connecting with another human. You might need your phone. I mean, it's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. If you're worried about someone cheating on you, or even the whole idea cheating on you, it's what even the concept of micro cheating is about is this. It feels really fear based. Yeah, it's like if you're wondering why is it that this situation is happening in my relationship, why is it that there's no milk in the refrigerator? I don't know. Maybe ask somebody. Did you drink all the milk? Maybe there's other ways to get to the bottom of this instead of labeling it and sneaking around, because it's reverse sneaking. So I'm worried, according to this article in Psychology Today that you read. So I'm worried now that somebody is sneaking around on me. So my solution is to double sneak. I'm going to go around and look at the phone and try to deduce from these context clues that, Bob's only talking to women at work. I wonder, does he work at an all-women's agency? Like, it's just the stupidest thing. Talk to Bob. Go have dinner with Bob.
Dear listener, if a behavior that your partner, spouse, whatever is doing makes you uncomfortable, talk to your fucking partner or spouse and say, the behavior you're doing makes me uncomfortable. Is this something that is really mandatory for you and rewards you in such a way that A, I cannot, and B, you don't give a fuck,
That's
that
right.
It makes me uncomfortable?
There's your bad advice, fucker. That's right. Fuck you.
Communicate. That's the bad advice.
Figure it out, stupids. Yes.
Reward yourself.
Oh, I still have to learn this. I don't know how to do that.
Oh, is there not enough cake in your life? Is that what you're saying?
I am either on continuous reward, but it's sort of disconnected from the task. I'm all about, where's mine? Yes, there's no problem with that. But it's I've got a friend who pointed this out to me, and listening to you last week, it's all tied up in the same thing. There's never an end point for me. All of the effort doesn't come with a reward finally. The effort comes with, oh, look at that. Now we're on the top of Mount Effort. And look, there's another summit up ahead. It just doesn't, there's no reward for getting anywhere. Rewards come and go, but they're not connected to the task. So for me, I'm going to figure out that. I have lots of gold stars. They don't come at the end of the thing.
I understand what you're saying. So the question is, do you set opportunities for reward for yourself? I mean, because you've already made it clear that the reward is not in the activity, because I'm telling you it is, but you don't listen to me like everybody else in my life.
That's
You're
right.
you're not taking my advice.
You've got a whole show about it, I think.
Of our observations. Yeah. So since you're not going to accept the fact that the reward is intrinsically in the fact that your kids are fucking awesome, everybody's everywhere on time, you cut fruit in shapes before skewering them. What? You're lucky I have a knife in my house. Let's start there. There is no reward in that. So do you need to once a month schedule a massage for yourself or a pedicure? Do you need to take opportunities? For me, in my house, I don't even need to buy cookies anymore. They come to me. My greatest joy in life is cookies. So I mean, Stuart just went away for 4 days, and I said, something's going to go very wrong, right? I said, something's going to go very, very wrong. It always does when you go away. But now at least my kids are home, and I'm not alone in figuring out. Now I have an extra dog, and I have, the kids are here. I think Ethan's having a reaction to a medicine that he's on. So his hands started to hive up or break out or textury, something went on. And I'm like, it would be really good to be married to a doctor right now.
Thanks for nothing.
Thanks for nothing. But when he came home from his 4 days away, he had stopped at Perkins, who happens to make my favoriteest cookies in the world. And he brought me home chocolate chip cookies. I didn't earn those. I didn't like
a few things. No, you fucking earned it. Let's just call that the way it needs to be.
So I got cookies. I don't even need to buy them anymore. They come to me. And baked goods are my mecca. Baked goods are my happy place. They are my everything.
Because you have Bakery Boy, yeah.
And I don't even need to count on Bakery Boy because they just show up. So are you saying you don't get cookies or cake or?
Not in the slightest. What I am overloaded with opportunities for joy, with fantastic rewards, with gratitude. It all comes flowing to me. It's not about that. What is unusual is that it only occurred to me in the past, 2 to 3 months by a handful of friends, that I don't actually reward myself for anything that I do, and I don't even see the need for reward I just don't. I had done something, it was kind of a big deal, and mentioned it to this friend who's the one that inadvertently first pointed it out. And she goes, "Great, so how are you going to celebrate?" And I was like, "Huh? Like, what do you mean? What is a celebration? What do you mean?" And
I felt that way about our anniversary. They're like, "Wow, 20 years, you should celebrate." I'm like, for existing in the same space as another human.
Yes.
I think I'm going to get him AirPods.
Here's a special meal that I've made for you at Thanksgiving, Stuart. Happy anniversary.
So there's a study that says having an attitude of gratitude changes the molecular structure of your brain. Yeah. It keeps gray matter functioning and makes us healthier and happier. And when you feel happiness, your central nervous system is affected and you're more peaceful, less reactive. That's for me, that part. Less reactive and less resistant to things. All right. Back to my 100 gratefuls a day. I mean, if I'm going to change the molecular structure of my brain to make myself less reactive to, and I assume that doesn't mean there's a ball coming towards your face, catch it. I assume it means I can't get a fucking hot shower because everybody needs a shower at the same time and I'm going to cut a bitch.
That's right.
I mean, that kind of reactive and resistant to, I want to try new things. So I'm going to keep up my gratefuls because I think that all of those things I think are necessary in my life.
It's 100% true. And I think that you already experience it. And it's kind of like this revelation that's not really all that revelatory that I'm talking about. It's just, I've already lived it. I already know it. But to hear somebody say it, it's like, oh, that's been a silent pattern in my life that I now can see fully. And it's never going to be invisible again. So you're a grateful fucking person. So to just amplify it and to make it a practice and a habit, I love it. And I agree. You can feel the lightness and the changes. You can feel it physically. It's not just this all of the cells in your body change every 7
Right.
years, and that's why you like broccoli now. That's
I always hated broccoli, but I guess it has been 7
wait
years
5 years. Yeah.
since I gave up the limas. Do you know who's not feeling grateful right now?
Oh, who?
Not at all. T.I.'s daughter. Do you know what's going on with T.I.?
No.
He takes his 18-year-old daughter to the gynecologist every year for a virginity
Oh,
test.
I do know about this.
What are your thoughts on that, Amy?
I
Go.
don't know who T.I. is, but he better
He's a
run.
rapper.
He better run the fuck from me. Let's
He's a rapper.
let's catch our listener up to speed, shall we? You paint the picture because I jumped right in.
So T.I. is a rapper who, from the South, I think he's from Atlanta. Remember we had that whole thing about Southern rap, and we're like, what the fuck is Southern rap? T.I. comes from the roots of Southern rap, and somebody asked him, he was on it all started on a podcast, strangely.
As they
this
all
podcast,
do.
Ladies Like Us, they were interviewing him, and they said, have you had a conversation with your daughter? Let's keep in mind his daughter's 18 and graduated high school. She's in her first year of college now. Have you talked to your daughter about, sex? And he's like, have I talked to her? Yeah, every year or yearly for her yearly visit for, I guess, last couple of years, he puts like a sticky pad on her door and says, it's time. He goes with her to the gynecologist. He makes her sign a release form that says it's okay for him to be told any information because she's now an adult. She's 18, man. She doesn't have to. I'm sure she has a car. Her dad's a rapper. So she goes with him. He goes with her and signs the consent that the doctor can share with him that her hymen is still intact. It is a hymen check. It is, besides being unreliable, because sex is not the only way to, my favorite rapper, bust a hymen. It's not the only way to lose that intact hymen. You like that? Bust
That's
a hymen.
fantastic. That has
Thanks,
to be
guys.
real.
I'll be here all week. Try the veal. It is invasive. It is sexist. I think it's abusive. Are you fucking kidding
There is
me?
no one can support or endorse this, not a single person. And for anyone who even for a second thinks that they can, all you need do is substitute any other body part for a daddy and any other human, a child, a spouse, a cousin. It's not your business. Let's say you've got a toe. That's, the least offensive thing that you can think of, right? A toe. You now are going to demand that you're going to attend a doctor visit with this other person to keep tabs on that toe because it's somehow your business to take care of what's going on inside the body of someone else. It's just, set aside the fact that it is sickening, this fascination with her sexual activity. It's sickening. It's sickening and sickening. I get
For a father.
It's just gross. I don't have teenage girls. I have teenage boys. There's sexual activity going on. And I can fundamentally understand that there's differences between the two. I get it. I get that
there are men.
I do.
And there are women.
I learned this on a podcast earlier from our great good friend, John Buchanan. I was going to say his
Jamingo.
I was going to say Jamingo, and then I
Jamingo.
blotted it out. Yeah. So I get that you want to have different rules for girls than you do for boys. But at the end of the day, when they're adults, there really shouldn't be different rules for women and for men sexually. We all have bodies. We all have parts. Use them. Don't use them. It's up to you. If she wants to eat chocolate cake, is he now going to go with her to every bakery once a year? It's the most disgusting thing to be. What doctor would consent to this?
Well, he made her sign the form that said and I don't know because that's disgusting. But okay, so you said she's an adult. Let's say she's 16. She's not an adult yet. Is it okay if she's 16 for him to do it?
No. And I mean by adult as a woman in the very biological sense. When you have the ability to reproduce, you physically are an adult because that same girl, whether she consented to it or not, could bring another human into the world.
Be a parent.
Her body is capable of this, and that comes with the responsibilities, rights and privileges of ownership. She's got to know what she's dealing with, and it's not going to be daddy who's carrying the baby. It's the whole thing is so fucking gross. Can you not? It's like this. Can you not have a conversation with somebody? Here's the social rules. Here's the cultural rules. Here's our family credo. This is what I expect of you. This is the behavior I'm looking for from you. Now go have your health checked. Those are two totally different things than I'm going to come with you into the place. I'm going to go with you on your date and sit in the back seat. And I'm coming with you to the restaurant to make sure that nobody's holding your hand too tight. I mean, if this was a white wacko Southerner with the quiver full of kids, how many news outlets would be talking about this in terms of that's disgusting. Why are they? Because they have promise rings and they don't kiss and all the things that they do to, really invasively get involved in something that ain't none of the business either. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. There's one more. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, it's also disgusting. It is, again, I repeat, it's invasive. It's not looking at your toe. It's going inside your body with a speculum to look for mucous membrane that is oh my God. Is there ever an excuse for a family member of yours to have a peek inside your body?
There's no comparable. I'm trying to come up. There's just no comparable that this is none of your fucking business.
I'd like to refer you to the episode where Stuart's parents came to visit us and my father-in-law had a AAA. He had pain and I'm so sorry.
You're a loving gal.
Stuart had to give his father a rectal to make sure that it wasn't one thing and it was completely another. And there's no excuse for that either. I'm so sorry.
Happy holidays.
Yes, there's no excuse for that either. Those are two holes that should not be visited by family or anybody in an intimate way. Yeah, it's bad. It is. It's also sexist because nobody's checking. He has a son in there too. Where's the mother in this? Does this child have a mother who does not?
She's home safeguarding her hymen.
I do have a friend who's a labor and delivery nurse who has had to deliver babies past a hymen.
What?
Because they did not.
It's like a fucking trampoline.
They did not. No, I don't think they had that baby through intercourse. I think there was I think she went to check a cervix, stuck her hand in and said to the physician, something's wrong. And she said, no, something's wrong. I mean, there is, but not like you're saying. That's a hymen. And we got to get past that if we're going to deliver this baby. Isn't that crazy?
That is the weirdest fucking thing.
Certain cultures. I think it's a certain cultures thing. Yeah. It was weird. It was super weird. Feel free to write in and tell us all about that. Yeah, I think it's abusive. I think that's abuse. How this 18-year-old woman, how this woman is going to have a normal relationship with a man after this. These are the people who you will watch a 2020 special about and get away with, like the Menendez brothers. Like, she's going to kill T.I. And didn't T.I. serve some time in jail? I have to go back and re-look up T.I. He's fucked up. If you're checking your daughter for her hymen, thank God he's not doing it himself, and at least he's doing it at a doctor's visit.
We hope. Yeah.
I'm going to vomit. T.I., smarten the fuck up. This is not normal. It's not okay. And if I have to call the authorities to get in the way of this, you might lose your kids.
Yeah. I mean, the whole idea is so twisted. Here he is trying to raise a respectable woman. He's trying to raise someone. His messaging in all of this, if you cut through all the weirdness, the subtext is, I want this woman to be, highly regarded, on a pedestal. I want this woman to be above scrutiny and up to the highest standard that I can possibly think of. And I'm going to participate in making that happen. I'm going to be a good dad.
That's
I'm going to do
conversation.
Yes. It's like and everything that you're doing is saying to her as loudly as you possibly can that you will never be a respectable woman. You are already not worthy of respect because the only thing that you have is this biological condition that you have to safeguard, which P.S. you have no control over, and we're watching you every second. Instead of, let me raise you to be an independent woman worthy of respect, who respects and cares for herself, who's family respects and trusts her to move through the world with some kind of integrity. The whole thing is just, yeah, T.I., suck it.
Yeah, T.I.,
yeah,
suck
T.I.
it.
Stupid.
Look it up, dope.
Yeah, check it out, dope.
Jackass. Hey, dear listeners, if you want to connect with us, oh, thank God, because we want to connect with you too. And you can find us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Listen Brilliant. And you can email us like several listeners have for our bad advice column. You did?
I did.
Hold on. At brilliantobservations@gmail.com. We really would love to hear from you. What was the feedback?
Now you put me on the spot and I don't remember what it is, but I do have it. I wrote it down. So, and I'll tell you. Oh, I remember now. It's apple cider vinegar.
Oh, yeah.
Previously on Brilliant Observations.
Big fans still use it.
Yeah. And it was angry feedback at me because, Sally Collin decided to try the apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons, woke up at 3 a.m. with Melissa shits.
Oh, why don't you listen to me,
I
Sally
don't have
Collin?
the shits. I didn't shit. Or maybe I did and I'm unaware of it. I didn't. I don't think I did.
Dear listener, trust me. I know. I am the master of my colon. I'm really not, which is why
That's
the gummies.
My favorite video game is Colon Master.
That's Dungeon Colon Master.
Oh, ew. All right, T.I. That's the extra level.
So it's Goli, Goli. And I think there's like a 10% off coupon you can use by either not using us, but either like love Goli or noshits.com or whatever you go to. They're really slightly tasty. I'm not a big texture fan there.
Noshits.com. That's my favorite .net ever.
No Shits TV. .edu. Because it's quite educational.
Sponsored by Clorox. Yeah.
So I'm with you. I don't know why you listen to Amy over listening to me, because you probably had apple cider vinegar in your refrigerator and thought, yeah, I got this.
She was optimistic.
It's worth it to go for the gummy. I mean, I think it's $20 for a month's worth. Maybe a month's worth.
Your colon is worth it.
And then you get 10% off. So it's $18 for a month's worth. And I think it's free shipping too. So I'm a fan. I like it because I've definitely had some cheese or lactose, something that I probably shouldn't have, and I've scarfed down a couple of these gummies, and I was not punished for stupidity. But I will be more careful. Dear listener, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your feedback. Amy will tell us who it was that fed back if they wanted to be acknowledged, because sometimes people like hearing their name on air. Right, everybody? We're grateful for you. You're one of my 100 gratefuls. I'm grateful for you, Amy, and I'm waiting for my brain chemistry to change so that I'm less resistant and a happier person. So, fuck it. Dope. Bye.